Hello, everybody, and welcome to Healthy Weight Loss, How to Lose Weight and Keep It Off for Life. I am Dr. Megan Burt. We've got about 1 minute until the webinar actually starts, but I always like to start just a couple minutes early, give everybody some time to log in, ask some questions, just to be welcomed. So we'll just take a few more seconds here and let more people log on. Okay, it is officially 8 o'clock, so I like to stay as prompt as I can. Let's get started. So welcome again to Healthy Weight Loss. I call it healthy and lasting weight loss, how to lose weight and keep it off for life. This is a topic that I am so passionate about because I believe at the core of it, our country does such a poor job of teaching us what a healthy weight is, what healthy weight loss is, and really building up health. So we are going to essentially turn weight loss, upside down and talk about it in terms of how do we get healthy. And if we can have a different perspective on weight loss, then trust me, we are going to make a bigger difference in all of our waistlines. So I am Dr. Megan Burt. I am a chiropractor and I run the blog justenjoyfood.com. And I will tell you, it is a lot more than just a blog. I am a chiropractor. I am a blogger or a writer, however you want to say it. I do run Just Enjoy Food. I founded it a few years ago, and it started out with me just sharing recipes because I felt like I wanted to share the recipes that were always in my brain, but that were healthy and that you could eat healthy and not feel deprived and still feel like you're treating yourself and still feel like you're nourishing yourself and have that confidence that you can do this for a lifetime. And what's morphed in the last 2 years is it's changed into a resource blog too. And so it has a lot more resources on healthy and natural alternatives, how to heal your body naturally, do it yourself, lotions, that type of thing, personal care products, and just really me sharing the things I'm learning and that I'm passionate about. I'm also a health coach, and I love to coach people one-on-one. I love to walk you through healing your body, losing weight, balancing your hormones, healing your digestive system, whatever it is. I would love to just bring you in and walk you through it. That is truly my heart. And I also do Young Living essential oils. And earlier today I had a webinar on that. And I just love how essential oils fit within the healthy lifestyle that we all want to live and want to achieve. So before we can really get into weight loss, I want to get real. So let's get real about this. Let's get real about how healthy, or I will say how sick, our country is, because we have to know facts and we have to understand that our country is not this blooming health country. We are getting sicker and sicker, and there's a reason for that. And if we know that, not that I want to start out and be Debbie Downer or Negative Nancy or anything like that, but we have to know the reality that we live in, and we have to know what we're up against. And when we know what we're up against, then we can fight in a positive way to change that. We're not going to accept the status quo. We're not going to accept what everybody else says that we have to feel or have to eat. We're going to change that because we know that knowledge is power. So we're going to start out with a little bit of power and knowledge versus feeling like it's so negative. So are we healthy? I go through these, like I said, not because I want to be negative, but it's going to sound like that, but we will turn it around to positivity in terms of positive power. So the US ranks last in health amongst all wealthy countries. The US spends the most money per capita than any other country for healthcare. So we spend the most money and we have the worst health. That is not good. So it's not for lack of money. And trust me, it's not for lack of prescription drugs, too. We take about 75% of the world's drugs, and we do not make up 75% of the world's population. The US ranks 46th out of 48 for healthcare. We have the highest infant death rate. It's worse than all other countries within that study. And we are the world leader in adult and childhood obesity. So once again, we've got to lay down the facts. We've got to know what we're fighting against. And we get to choose now to change that. We might not be able to change the entire country being on this webinar here, but let me tell you, we are going to change ourselves and our families and whoever we can reach. So, who's with me? Why? I want to look at why a couple different ways. I want to look at why, number one, in terms of why are we so sick? And I'll get to answering that. But before I get to that, I want to get a little bit more personal. I want you to really think, what is your why? Why are you listening to this webinar? Why are you wanting to lose weight? And the answer of, I want to be healthier, that's not a bad one by any means, but I want you to go a level deeper than that. I want you to get to why you want to get healthier, why you want to lose weight. And just, get a notepad, get a pen, get up and grab it right now and really write down. And throughout this whole time I'm presenting, I want you to think of your why. Is why because it's hard to get out of bed in the morning and you don't feel like you're being very productive with your day in terms of living your day to the fullest? Is your why your family? That is a great why. I hear it all the time. Why do I want to lose weight? Why do I want to get healthy? It's because I want to be there for my kids. I want to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandkids someday. That is a powerful why. That is a why that is going to keep you going for years and years. So think about why, write down your why, and continue just to noodle on it, think about it as we go through this webinar. So hopefully you have your why. So let's get into kind of the meat and potatoes of this. What does weight loss look like in the United States? This is my opinion, but I believe it's also the facts if you watch anything that's on the TV or anything that pops up on a sidebar ad on the internet. Number one, starvation. We are taught you gotta starve to lose weight. You can't eat too much or you're gonna gain weight. The reason you're heavy is because you eat too much. And the way that we, starve ourselves essentially is counting. We've got so many numbers and so many points. We're counting calories, we're counting fat, we're counting, I don't even know what we can count. We're just counting so many things. And we just get overwhelmed with the numbers. And then food doesn't become food. Food becomes, oops, I can't have that, piece of fruit because it might have this many calories. Trust me, I can't even give you a good example. I don't even know what has calorie, numbers to it. And if we really think about it too, do you know what a calorie is? A calorie is a unit of energy. So the higher the calorie, the more energy. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean an unhealthy food, one that's going to cause more inflammation and cause your body to, once again, not work well. Well, that kind of calorie isn't going to be energizing. But fat has a lot of calories to it. So that must mean that fat has a lot of energy, and it truly is an amazing and powerful source of energy for our body, for our brain. Another way that we look at weight loss is exercising for hours and hours. Now, I love exercise. I believe we need to move our bodies. I've spoken on that before, but to think that we need to be a slave to the treadmill and that we've got to, walk up 1,000 flights of stairs, to burn off 5 M&Ms or something crazy like that. I mean, that's not healthy. And honestly, that intense of cardiovascular exercise like that isn't really that great for our bodies anyways. So we do need to move them, but the weight loss doesn't come from running on a treadmill. We also have a lot of pills and potions and lotions and everything you can think of where you can just take this thing and not change your diet, not exercise, not make healthy lifestyle choices, and you'll lose weight. And to be honest, there are some dangerous pills out there, and there have been some. And so there is a deeper seated reason why you're not losing weight, not because, such and such pill, oh, I'm missing that thing, that chemical. That's what the weight loss is. If we look at it that, you'd be laughing at me because it sounds silly. Like, oh, I don't need that. My body doesn't, it's not deprived of this chemical. That's why I can't lose weight. But we want that quick fix because we do get really frustrated, and we're starving, and we're not eating fat, and we're counting calories, and we feel deprived. And then what is the last thing that we do? We feel guilty. And we feel really guilty because we can't stick to our diet. We can't stick to 1,200 calories. We can't stick to no fat. And trust me, that is not good for our minds. And then what are you going to do? Oh, tomorrow I'll be better. I'm going to start my diet tomorrow. I'm going to restart my diet tomorrow. And that guilt is not good for us. I feel like if you ate an unhealthy diet, was free of any kind of guilt, it would probably be healthier for you than living within this calorie counting, starving, deprived, guilty mindset. It's going to wear your body down that way too. Now, there's an even better way. It's being free of guilt and feeling nourished and satisfied and free within healthy food choices. And if that is something that you're like, yeah, right, I don't think you can even do that. Trust me, you can. I am a walking billboard for knowing that you can get out of that frustrated cycle of knowing what foods you should eat but not choosing the right ones, and really experience freedom of loving healthy foods. I found this when I was researching for my webinar, and I had to put it in. I know they say don't put tons of notes on these slides, but we've got to read these because it's just crazy when you read them. And I felt like it was almost like a satire, kind of making fun of these diets in an essence, but it was from the USA Today. And they were literally giving their gold stamp of approval on the top 3 diets that are out there in the United States. So Weight Watchers got number 1. And once again, I am not saying that you couldn't lose weight on here. I don't know the ins and outs of these programs. But once again, I read this and went, well, this doesn't sound like something that I want to do, sign myself up for it, and be successful. It's telling me I'm not going to be that successful. So, Weight Watchers, this popular points counting diet helps dieters drop pounds and keep them off. So I guess the first sentence sounds good. In experts' rating, Weight Watchers bested all other ranked diets for both short-term and long-term weight loss. That doesn't guarantee it will work for everyone, of course. Its average rating of moderately effective for long-term weight loss reflects the difficulty dieters have on staying on the wagon, even when using the best weight loss diet available. So I guess you read that and go, okay, that's okay. I guess I can be moderately effective, right? We'll go on the biggest loser diet. This plan, built around healthy food and regular exercise, ranked behind only Weight Watchers in the overall weight loss category. The experts agreed that calorie restriction and physical activity should work for dieters. They rated Biggest Loser a very effective way to keep weight. It concluded that it works moderately well over the long term. I mean, I think the Biggest Loser show is extremely inspirational, and the stories are wonderful. But if you look at just the diet, it's not sustainable. That's what they're telling you. It's not sustainable. You can't exercise calories that much and have it be something you can do forever. And Jenny Craig, which has been around for years. I remember when the phone number was 1-800-97-JENNY from 1997. So it's been around for a long time. So as a weight loss diet, Jenny Craig outranked nearly all of its competitors. Experts appreciated, among other aspects of the program, the value of the emotional support provided by its weekly one-on-one counseling sessions. So that's awesome. We have to support our emotions. A few experts, however, questioned whether dieters can expect to keep weight off once they're weaned from the diet's packaged, portion-controlled foods. Though not factored into its rankings, Jenny Craig's cost is relatively high. So if somebody is telling you only can have this much food a day, it's prepackaged, it's portion controlled, and I beg to argue that the quality of the food probably isn't so great, but it's really expensive, and once you go off of the food, you fail. Well, I don't want to sign up for that. That's an expensive failure program, right? And people can be successful on here. I'm not knocking that. But don't you think there's a better way? Let's make it simple. Let's get back to the basics. And let's eat food that's on this planet that is created for us to heal and to nourish our bodies. That sounds a lot easier. There is long-term success in that, and I have seen it. So what happened in our world? Why are we so much heavier than we should be and so much more unhealthy than we want to be? This is a big piece of it. I don't know when the food pyramid came out. I probably should look at the year. I'm sure it correlates with some piece of our health care. But look at this food pyramid. What's on the bottom? Breads, cereals, rice, and pasta group. I mean, seriously, it's a group. And it says 6 to 11 servings. That is a lot. Like, that is a lot. I mean, that's like a bagel and oatmeal for breakfast, toast for a snack, a muffin and spaghetti for lunch. Oh, what are we at? 6? I mean, we're halfway there. That is so many grains that it is going to put your body into such an inflammatory and hormone damaging mode that you're going to gain weight like crazy. So let's go to the next one, fruits and veggies. Well, that's great. They come from the ground, they grow, they're natural. Okay, we'll like that. Well, then we go up to milks, dairy products, meats, proteins. And if you look at what's in the dairy category, it's like flavored yogurt, malts, and ice cream. Well, there's healthier dairy than that. And then we go right at the top to fats, oils, and sweets. Use sparingly. Okay, sweets, number one. We've already said that that's already in the milk group because I can see a picture of ice cream there. And sweets, anything that's got sugar and it's got grains in it. So then is your muffin that has a ton of sugar, is that on the bottom of the food group or the top? You can just see where all these questions come up of where do I even eat according to this? So I have a theory. I think that we could change a lot of the health of this nation if we did two simple things. We took the sweets out of the top and just tossed them to the side. And then we flipped the food pyramid upside down so that the bottom of the food pyramid contained proteins, meats, fats and oils, good quality dairy products. We had our fruits and veggies. And what was at the top was grains. And what was at the top were only grains that were not altered by man, and only if our bodies can stand eating grains at that time and still work well. So you can see that we are literally completely opposite of where we need to be. Now, I know that the food pyramid has changed to the food plate in recent years, but it still essentially says the same thing. Now, if you're sitting there going, okay, she's giving me a lot of negative news. We're really unhealthy. Her food pyramid's, junky. What do we do? They've taught us all wrong. I want you to know, if you're feeling at all discouraged, that is not the point of this webinar, and I will encourage you and lift you up. But the start of it is right here. You are not weak. We were not created weak. God did not create us weak. This is one of my favorite verses for life and for eating well and nourishing our bodies well. For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. It says right there, we are self-controlled and we are self-disciplined. So does that mean if we have self-control and we can train our brains to have self-control, that we should be overweight? We're not choosing to be overweight. We're not choosing to be unhealthy. We are not weak and going, oh, well, whatever. I don't really care. We all do care, and we all can rally, and we all can get healthier. But there is a bigger piece, and you can hear my passion coming out right here. There's a bigger piece to this, and it's that our bodies are toxic and our cells and our hormones don't work very well. And what happens is our bodies give us cravings, and they are survival cravings. And when our digestive system is off and we're feeding bad bacteria and bad yeast and bad junk in our guts, they're going to give you a craving for sugars and grains and foods that we may know in our brain that we don't want to eat, but our willpower doesn't win out because your body needs to survive. And so we need to, yes, get our bodies healthier, and we will talk about that, but know first and foremost that you are not weak. We have strong minds, strong brains, and we have self-control and self-discipline. So we can rally up and change our health. So why do we gain weight? These are the big ones that I found, know, and teach. Number one, foods. The biggest weight gain causing foods are sugars and bad fats. So sugars in the form of white sugar, brown sugar, molasses, anything that's processed, high fructose corn syrup, rice syrup. I'm labeling a lot. And I do have a lot of information on my blog, justenjoyfood.com, and I have other webinars, and I have other areas that I teach specifically foods. So if I'm overwhelming you with only giving you a touch of this, I do have a lot more information. And bad fats, the hydrogenated oils, the vegetable oils, canola oil, those synthetic oils, the things that are in processed foods that can make a food last for years on a shelf, those things will literally clog your cells. The other food piece that really destroys our body and will cause weight gain and other toxicities is genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. Those GMO foods, they are dangerous. Whatever anybody says, whatever the commercials are saying now, you start to research it and it gets pretty scary pretty quickly. Once again, we're not going to get into the details of GMO, but I just want you to know that that's something I do want to do further education about. But if you Google it, you can get a ton of information on it. And one thing that I believe we need to rally up and teach how to avoid them and what they really are and what they really do. Turning to environmental toxins. Heavy metals are a huge source of toxicity. Plastics. There's lots, you can see in that picture I have, there's lots of different chemicals and flame retardants, things that are in our furnitures, clothes, within our environment that can cause, once again, kind of clog our cells. That is a huge, huge component, is environmental toxins. And they can throw off our hormones, and then our hormones can cause us to gain weight, or they can throw off our gut, and we don't have a good microbiome, gut ecology, and then what happens is we gain weight. And the last one is personal care products or at-home products. So makeups, lotions, shampoos and conditioners, body washes, things that you're putting on your skin, your biggest organ. Makeup is huge for women, like huge. They say that the average woman puts on over 100 toxic chemicals on their body every day. And so somebody's using a lot more chemicals than I am. I think that I put on 0 because I've worked really hard to get my products down to 0. And the other at-home products are going to be cleaning supplies, laundry detergents, things that you're putting on your carpets or you're spraying in your air, and fragrances and you know, toxic candles that you're burning. And the awesome news with that is you can switch to natural products. And once again, something that I do and teach a lot within my essential oil webinars. So you can see that this weight gain is a lot bigger picture than just oh, well, we need to eat less. There are so many other components. And I, once again, get so frustrated that our world just thinks that, like, just eat less. That's all it is. You could practically starve yourself. And you could starve yourself and not lose a pound because of the stuff you're rubbing on your skin, the toxins that have been stored in your body, the bad fats that some people call good, like the vegetable oils, and the genetically modified foods that you're eating. But you could be starving yourself still. Know that there are other causes and other things that contribute to that. And I think that is one of the biggest eye-opening things that I have learned. Toxins are stored in our fat cells. And so the more fat we have, the more ability for our body to store toxins. Our bodies are smart. They do exactly what they are supposed to do given the input that the information and the healing ability that they have. If your body is really toxic, then it's going to choose to store toxins in the least dangerous spot possible. So think your body could store toxins in your brain, could store toxins in your organs, or it could store toxins in your fat cells. Out of those, your body's going to choose fat cells any day of the week. And you know why it's not going to allow you to lose weight and why you feel like you're stuck at the weight that you are at? Some people eat very healthy, exercise very well, and they still can't lose weight. Our bodies know. Your body is not going to say, oh, I'll just, lose 20 pounds and lose all this fat. You're going to feel worse. You're going to mobilize toxins. You're going to have a more toxic body because you have less fat. And so your body goes, I got to function. We've got to think. We've got to do life. So you're just going to store your toxins in your fat cells, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. Now, there's something we can do about it. We can detoxify our body, and that word detoxification is a very, very important word. And once we remove the toxins, our body releases fat. So you can see that it, once again, is such a bigger picture than needing to sign up for Weight Watchers. So we're kind of going on causes of weight gain, but we're really digging much deeper. And this is foundational for understanding. One of the big pieces that I like people to understand, and that helps me a lot too, and I'm kind of a research nerd, so I hope it's not just me that finds this interesting. But if we look at our cells, we have 10 trillion cells. Our bodies are made up of a lot of cells. I have no idea what 1 trillion is, let alone 10 trillion. So if we have healthy cells, we have healthy bodies. If we have unhealthy cells, we have an unhealthy body. And it sounds very, very simple, but it really does work like that. So I'm going to walk you through my picture. And I want you to draw this too. So you have your why written down. I want you to draw this cell. As I'm explaining it, I want you to draw it and I want you to take notes. Because when you draw it, you're going to learn it. And when you draw it, you can re-look at it and remember why you're doing this for your body, why you're going to change your lifestyle. So we have 10 trillion cells. You can see the cell that I drew. It has 2 circles. That is because our cells have a bilipid membrane, which bilipid means 2 layers of fat. So when I said eating healthy fats help nourish your body and help you lose weight, it's because you are nourishing that double fat layered membrane. Those little lines that come out of the top of the cell, they actually go around the whole cell. Those are hormone receptors. Depending on what type of cell, depends on the type of hormone receptor. So you have estrogen receptors, progesterone receptors, insulin receptors, vitamin, mineral, protein receptors. You have leptin receptors, and leptin is a hormone that tells your brain to burn fat. If you don't have a very receptive leptin receptors on your cells, then your brain's not going to know to burn fat. Ghrelin is a hormone that is the hunger hormone. Are you hungry or are you full? If you don't have a very receptive ghrelin receptor, you don't know if you're hungry and you don't know if you're full. And I've been there where you feel full, but you really want to keep eating, or you feel hungry and you're so hungry, you're just plain angry and you're plain mad. It's called hangry. Those Hormone receptors are also made of fat. See where we're going? We're going right along that path of healthy fats. So what happens when we eat bad fats, and you can see the causes of inflammation down there, but we'll get to those. If our cells are inflamed, and that's that little squiggly line, we don't get information in and we don't get information out. We do not have very sensitive hormone receptors, and we have hormone resistance. And so our whole hormones are thrown off. Our thyroid, our estrogen, our progesterone, our insulin. We eat too much sugar and we don't have receptive insulin receptors. We get something called diabetes. We eat our way into that so often in our country. And once again, I don't believe that it's our fault. Nobody goes, I really want diabetes, or I really want this thing or that thing. But we're not taught that our diet and our that our lifestyle choices can affect our cells and can affect our health. If you look inside of the cell, you see that there's a little oval and it says ATP. ATP is a unit of energy, and that little oval is our mitochondria. Our mitochondria are our energy powerhouses. They create all of the energy for our bodies. For you to listen to this webinar and to take in the information, you are using cellular energy. You use units and units of cellular energy every single millisecond. We need cellular energy, yes, for us to feel energized, but to do literally anything. The little mitochondria, which I didn't draw there, they also have 2 layers of fat. And they also are affected by cellular inflammation. The mitochondria's cell membrane will become inflamed, and you won't produce enough energy, and your body doesn't work as well. So I want to get to the causes of inflammation, and I think they're really important for you to know. Number 1, sugar and things that turn to sugar. It just keeps coming back, sugar. The second one is bad fats, and we talked about the difference. There is a difference between good fats and bad fats. And once again, I explain those in detail on my blog, and I explain those a lot in different webinars too. And the third one is toxins. And toxins that's a big one. We could do an entire hour just on toxins. Sugars and bad fats. And I also want to preface, sugars can be grains. Grains turn to sugar within 4 to 8 seconds of being in our mouth. And so, am I saying every single grain is bad and should always be bad? Not necessarily. But if you need to lose weight and you need to gain health and you've not met your health goals, then those grains need to come out. All of them. Oatmeal is a grain. Rice is a grain. Quinoa, we sometimes, technically a seed, but it's a pseudo grain. It acts as a grain. And once again, if weight loss is something that you want to achieve, I would cut out all grains. So it's more than just gluten, it's all grains. So sugars and grains and bad fats, those are all food things. I say 2.5 of the causes of inflammation come from just food alone, because there are food toxins. Food toxins are things like MSG, monosodium glutamate, aspartame, artificial sweeteners, the food colorings, the different chemicals that are put into processed foods you can't even read, so you have no idea what they are. Those are all toxin pieces. And there's the bigger piece of toxins, just like I had said on the previous slide, the genetically modified foods, the things in our environment, the things that really weigh our bodies down. And I truly see so many of these people within my health coaching that have toxins that weigh their bodies down. So one thing that I also wanted to go over is what happens when your cells are inflamed? Because it's like, oh yeah, I've got inflamed cells. It's a bigger piece than that. What happens is our cells can't stay inflamed forever, and they can't stay healthy and inflamed forever, if you get what I'm saying. They do 2 things. They die or mutate. Now, dead cells, they just spontaneously die. It's called apoptosis. And if enough cells die, it's called premature aging. It's looking older than you are. And I can't tell you the amount of people that I have seen that change their diet and change into a healthy lifestyle, and they literally lose 10 years. I mean, they look 10 years younger. It is amazing. And they've done a lot of work, but they haven't done any physical work. And another thing that can happen is your cells mutate. What a mutated cell is it's a cell that no longer needs oxygen for it to be healthy, and it lives off of sugar. A mutated cell is a cancer cell, and it is as dangerous as it sounds. So to know we have cellular inflammation, and if you have symptoms and aches and pains and brain fog and digestive disorders and weight gain, you have inflamed cells. And so we need to do something about that. And if that's not a big enough why you have dead or mutated cells, then I don't know what is. So just knowing all of this information on the cell, you have enough power to change. Weight loss resistance. This is a big topic because I hear this a lot, and it's something that our world doesn't cover, but it's definitely something that's out there, and that happens all the time. So weight loss resistance is the inability to lose weight despite diet and exercise. Does that sound common? Does that sound like you? And this was me back in the day. My body was not very healthy. And I was so sick, I didn't know I was sick. And you could be sitting in the same shoes as I was. And I'll get into my story a little bit later. But Gary Taubes is a researcher. He's brilliant. He has books on weight loss and healthy fats. He's read pretty much every study you can read out there about healthy fats. And I want to read this because I think it's really powerful. There is this absolutely fundamental idea when it comes to weight and obesity, that the way you get fat is by taking in more calories than we expend. It is the gluttony and sloth hypothesis. We eat too much and exercise too little. It sounds undeniable, but this doesn't tell us anything meaningful about why we get fat. So he's essentially saying is, what does our world tell us? Our world tells us that we are lazy and we're gluttons. You eat too much, you exercise too little. Is that powerful? Is that hope-giving? Is that life-giving? No, that's a death sentence. Oh, bunch of lazy people. That's why you can't lose weight. No. I know so many people who come to me and they work their behinds off trying to lose weight, and they are resistant to weight loss. It is a toxic issue. So we don't oftentimes eat too much, and we don't oftentimes exercise too little. But it makes sense. Calories in, calories out. You've heard that a million times, but it does not tell us anything about why we get fat or why we can't lose weight. That's weight loss resistance, and it comes back to the cell. It comes back to an inflamed cell. I want to focus on health versus weight loss because we're getting back to the why. Why are you doing this? If you just said, well, I just want to lose weight because I want to look this perfect way. First of all, there's no perfection. There is excellence. We want to achieve excellence. We want to see progress, but there is no such thing as perfection. And if we try to achieve perfection, the six-pack abs, the this and that thing, the no cellulite, that type of thing, we're going to be really unhappy very, very quickly, and we're not going to reach our goals. And that is another thing that we don't do a great job of teaching. We don't do a great job of loving the body that God created and that God gave us, and that even though it might not be the body that we feel that is the healthiest, just loving your body for that and making progress towards change is going to set you up for success. So look at the why. Why do you want to lose weight? And I just loved this picture that I put here because that person looks happy. They look like their body works well. It can do a handstand, and she's on the beach. She's choosing to move her body on the beach, and her body just looks happy and healthy, right? So becoming healthy is the best decision I've ever made. So even though this is a weight loss webinar, I do want to shift our view on health versus weight loss. I want us to look at, I want to be healthy. and losing weight is what happens when I get healthy. So for you, and I really want you to analyze this, and it might not come right now, but it might come later, and write this question down. Is it about the number on the scale, or is it about your health? And if it is about the number on the scale, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't go, oh, my goal weight is, such and such. It's 40 pounds. I'm not happy till I'm 40 pounds less. Well, how long is it going to take you to get to 40 pounds less? And if we could love our body and ourselves through that process and go, I'm 40 pounds heavier than I'd like. It's maybe not my favorite thing right now, but I'm going to still dress well, and I'm still going to get myself ready, and I'm still going to make healthy choices on a daily basis, because it's one healthy choice after another. It's not, it happens just, hour by hour. And so I don't want you to look at that just number, because a lot of times the number doesn't have a lot to do with how healthy you are. You can change body composition. You can literally lose like 4 pant sizes and stay the same weight if you're losing fat and gaining muscle. So once again, totally another myth that we are taught. It's all about that number on the scale. I always ask people, how do your pants fit? If your pants are fitting well, that's great. And I will tell you, when I was getting healthier, I dropped an entire pant size, and I think, I lost a pound, 3 pounds, and I'm like, my clothes fit differently. My body composition is different when I measure it, but I didn't really lose weight. The number on the scale is it's just crazy. So if you focus on your weight, then you're more likely to stumble. You're more likely to get discouraged. You're more likely to make that bad, I ate that thing, you name it, whatever's tempting you, and dang it, I ruined it, so I might as well eat the whole cake. So if you keep thinking who you're getting healthy for, if it's yourself, that's amazing. If it's your family and yourself, that's amazing. It's amazing too. I want to tell you the difference between inspiration and motivation. Inspiration is something where you get inspired. It's long lasting, it's long term. It fires you up. It makes you not give up. Motivation is like, okay, I want in the next week to lose 20 pounds. You can be really motivated towards that goal, but it's not going to happen, because that is way too much weight in too little of a time. And motivation needs to be restarted. You have to be remotivated all the time. And you hit your first discouragement and, not motivated anymore. Got to start tomorrow. And it's kind of that treadmill. So I like to be inspired. And I hope that I can be inspiring to you on this too. So it's about switching our mindset. I want you to look at foods differently. How are you going to look at them? I really like this picture too. Resolve to be healthy. Resolve, it comes from being inspired. I'm choosing to be healthy. My mindset shifts. And it's something that I have had to work on for years, and I'm still working on in just so many aspects of my life. You don't just one day come up with this amazing mindset that keeps you going. You do, when inspiration strikes, and it truly strikes, it changes you. But you still have to feed that and stoke that inspiration. And if you look at foods, I always tell people, don't look at them as good and bad foods. Oh, this food's good. Oh, that one's bad. You say bad, you crave it. You say bad, you want it. If you say this is a healthy food, a nourishing food, a cellular healing food, then that's really awesome. If you go, oh, this food, it deprives me, if I don't eat it, oh, I feel so cheated. This person can eat it, but I can't. That thing, that's such a bad food. Look at it as that food's not nourishing my cells. That food is not bringing health and healing into my body. That food does not feed my why. I want to be healthy for my kids. That food doesn't do it. And when you look at it that way, then you go, I am making that choice. You make that choice. The food doesn't make the choice for you. You make that choice. You are resolving to be healthy by choosing that healthier food. And how are you going to look at healthy living? Is it for short-term weight loss or long-term health? If it's short-term weight loss, like, okay, we're going on vacation in 3 months and I want to be this size, I want to fit into this bikini, okay, is that bad in and of itself? No. But is it, I just want to feel good, so my body moves well in whatever bikini I can fit in. If it's a one piece, if I wear a cover up, if my body moves and I'm making healthy choices one after another, then that's good. And I remember that too, being like, oh, I've got this event. I want to look like this. It was really for me a matter of, I just didn't feel healthy and my body was really sick, versus that it had to do a lot more with the number on the scale. When I started feeling better, I don't care about the number on the scale. I don't think I've stepped on a scale in 6 months. I was in my pants fit. That's all I need. And realize weight loss isn't a quick thing. And I want to explain that because that can be a little frustrating, because once again, you signed up for a weight loss webinar and here I am telling you it's not quick and it's hard and it takes resolve and it takes a mindset shift and all these different things. Really getting to true weight loss, it's a physical thing, it's an emotional thing, it's a journey. It is a detoxifying. And that's a tricky thing in terms of knowing it's a long-term thing. Because what does our world say? Lose, it's the holiday season. Lose 20 pounds before Christmas. And you're like, oh, I need to do that because I have a holiday party and seeing this such and such person. Just realize that if you start making this a lifestyle, then you don't have to ebb and flow. You don't gain 10 pounds in the holidays because you eat the way that you normally do. And there's so much freedom in that. I want to tell you my story a little bit because I have walked through being frustrated and I have walked through being sick, and I can now say about 10 years later that I do have that freedom and that abundant health. And is every day perfect? No, it's not. But I can stand here saying that I've been in your shoes. I always tell people, I don't go, oh, I've never struggled. I've never had a sugar craving. What is that? Oh no, I have the most amazing mental resolve. Absolutely not. It was a 10-year struggle that I somehow had the resolve. The Lord gave me the resolve to decide to push through and to accomplish that. These pictures, they speak volumes. The one on the left, I was in chiropractic school, and looking back, I got sick when I was 18. All within 1 month, I graduated high school, we moved houses, I got my 18-year-old vaccine, which is a huge toxic source within my body. I went on a mission trip to Mexico and got a really nasty parasite, and it was stressful going into starting college, and this all happened within this 60-day period. And my body freaked out. And I seriously went from in May being healthy and feeling really good to being in July wondering what in the heck happened to my gut. Why do I feel like I blew up like a balloon? The feeling, and I now know it as being bloated. I had never had that feeling before. Of course, I'd have stomach aches and nobody's gut is perfect, but this was intense. But I didn't know that I was sick. And I thought that, I could just get over it. And I remember that summer. And it doesn't maybe sound like much, but I never would gain weight. I always could just eat what I wanted. I stopped when I was full. It wasn't this big struggle. And I just maintained a healthy weight. And I was like, my pants don't fit. My tummy feels horrible. I started getting really tired. And then I went to school and I was a freshman. And what do you do when you're a freshman? You don't eat that healthy. And I knew some things about health, but I went to school for a year in the South. And let me tell you, as much as I loved going to school there, they don't have the healthiest food down south. And so I gained the freshman 15, but I didn't just gain weight, I felt horrible. I remember coming home over winter break, and it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was sitting in my mom's car, and we were driving, and I was trying to take a nap. And she was like, why are you taking a nap at 3 o'clock? You slept in till 9:30. You went to bed at 10 o'clock. We have not had that crazy stressful of a day. And why are you so tired? And I was like, I don't know. I must be recovering from school because I'm studying hard. I could not put my mind around it. well, the writing was on the wall that my body was not functioning well. And I felt horrible. I mean, I'd put on a shirt and I'd be like, oh, I just feel fat. And I was not fat, but I felt it because my physiology was not working well and my body was so toxic. So the picture that you see on the left is me when I was in chiropractic school. I fast forward a few years. I had this love of natural health, this desire to learn it and to get my body healthy. And once again, the Lord led me there because I would have never had the resolve to fight for my health, and I would have never had the answers and the ability to research and go to seminars and be around some amazing, amazing healers to learn and to heal myself if I had not gone to chiropractic school. But here I was. This was taken in 2007 or 2008. I think it was the spring of 2008. I was in this, I thought, amazing apartment. It was full of black mold. You guys would have no idea. I should have put that picture up too. It was disgusting. So I'm in chiropractic school. My muscles ache like crazy. I'm getting adjusted because we're learning how to adjust. My pain doesn't go away. My joints are achy. And when I lived in that apartment, I had a stomach ache for an entire 9 months. I was so tired. I could not get up in the morning. I could just barely function. And I thought, I just thought I was burnt out from school because going straight through 3.5 years and taking, 25 to 30 some credits, each trimester, that'll wear you down in and of itself. And I just thought that was me. And you start to get kind of, like, oh, why can't I just get out of bed in the morning? I'd never thought that it had a component where I was sick and I didn't feel well to it. And I just, once again, the Lord wrote my health story for sure, and it was a long one, but I now look back and realize that there were some really amazing people that were put in my path, and that taught me. And one of my first mentors, I went to a seminar, and I was just eating up the information, and I loved literally every second. I think I took like 10 pages of notes, and I remember sitting there having the worst stomach ache and being so tired I could barely keep my eyes open, even though I was so interested. And I remember that was the first time, and this was in 2009. So from 2004 to 2009, I didn't really know I was sick. And it had gotten so bad, I could barely go to class. And my brain wouldn't even turn on until like 1 p.m. And it was bad news. And so in 2009, I go to see this doctor, this mentor. So I was like, I'm sick. Like, I don't feel well. He knows what to do. And so I went to him and he goes, did you even like my seminar? I felt like you were going to fall asleep. And I remember when he said that, and he didn't say it in, this mean way. And I go, well, I don't feel good. I loved every second of it. I just was so tired. And he's like, okay, we have to figure this out. And so that started my journey. I started in 2009. And so it's been 5 years through this amazing and difficult and challenging, and sometimes ups and downs, natural health journey. I have learned a ton. I have flown around the country. I have tried nearly everything on myself. Some things that are so crazy, if I told you, you would go, what in the world? But I did it because my why was big enough. I did it because I knew I needed my cells healthy. I knew I needed my hormones healthy. And the picture on the right, I had to include this because I just had these pictures taken last week, is my husband and I. And you can see that I look a lot different. And just those two pictures side by side, you can see healthy and sick. And I will tell you that my body right now, I do not starve to get it there. I do not agonize over food. I do not agonize over every choice that I have made, which I did when I was living in the picture on the left. I was so addicted to sugar, it was ridiculous. And all I wanted to do was eat junky food. And I would give in and I'd feel bad about it and I wouldn't know how to, go forward. And it wasn't until I got my toxins and my physiology figured out that I could really get my body healthy. And like I said, is my body perfect? No. Is any of our bodies perfect? No. But I now can work full time. When I got out of chiropractic school, I couldn't work full time. I didn't even want to get out of bed to go to work. And I loved my job and I loved my calling and I loved having this purpose, but I couldn't even do what I wanted to do because I felt so bad. And now I can do that. And I love that. So the picture on the right speaks volumes to me. because I look at it and I go, oh my goodness, I finally have this healthy body. And not only did I get my body healthy, and I worked with tons of gifted practitioners, natural practitioners, and did it all naturally because I believe our bodies were created to heal. But it shows just so much promise within there. And so if you're going, oh my goodness, her story sounds like mine, I don't even know where to start, let me help you start. One thing that I do, and I do on my blog, is health coaching. I want to teach you the tools to get your health back. I have a heart and a passion to work one-on-one with people because I can give you a lot of information on this webinar, but I can't customize it for you. I can't find what your struggles are and what your joys are and what your why is just from this webinar. But what I can do one-on-one is create a plan for you, walk you through it, go through the ups and downs with you, encourage you, do the baby steps with you, do the hard things and the crazy things, and the things you go, I don't think I can do that. I can tell you you can, and trust me, you will. I have this firm belief you can't be your own doctor. And I hired many people through my health, and half of the time they told me what I already knew. But it's too emotional to do it yourself. You get stuck in your head, and then you read something on the internet that tells you should have lost 10 pounds in 10 days, and then you didn't, and you feel discouraged. But then this site contradicts this site. I get to take the guesswork out of that, and I want to do that for you. And if you're going, is this for me? I'm not sure if this is for me. If you're weight loss resistant, this is for you. If you're feeling discouraged, this is for you. If you're confused with how to proceed and what information to go to, this is for you. And so what I do is I have customized health coaching packages. For this to everybody is a free 15-minute phone call. Get on the phone with me. I want to hear your story. I want to hear your why. I want to hear what's going on, and I want to see if I can help. And if I can help you, I will tell you, and we'll get started. And if I don't feel like I'm a great fit for you, or I can't help you, I will find somebody who can. And so I just want to extend that to you. You can contact me on my blog, justenjoyfood.com, or you can email me at askdrmegan@gmail.com. And that is askdrmeghan.com. So moving into a little more how-tos and whys of weight loss, the myths of weight loss. We're going to go through calories in versus calories out, eating fat-free and healthy grains. How often have we heard that? Ooh, can't eat fat, that makes you fat. And if you exercise more, you lose more weight. So calories in versus calories out. Our bodies are science factories. They are not calorie counters. I feel like sometimes our world tells us we're stupid. Oh, calories in versus calories out. If you eat less calories than you burn, then you don't have a weight problem. Not all calories are created equal. Like I said at the beginning, a calorie is a unit of energy. We need to nourish our science factory. We need to give our science factory the raw material to do the tasks that it needs to do. We need to think about what we eat, how it affects our cells. Those 100 calorie packs that were so common, are they still common? I don't even know. There's 100 calories in there. Okay, it's 100 units of energy, we'll call it. But do you know what kind of junk is in there? There's stuff you can't even read, and it tastes like cardboard. Why don't you get 100 calories from a spoonful of peanut butter? It'll last you longer and it tastes awesome. Or let's do a spoonful of peanut butter and a little bit of butter. It sounds, if you don't eat the healthy fats yet, you'll be like, what is she talking about? One of my favorite snacks. If I got a little hunger, I'll be like, let's have a little peanut butter and butter. And it goes away. And I know that I'm nourishing my body well. Once again, we'll get into all the details in a different webinar of the foods, but we just know we were created so brilliantly and so intricately, and to dumb our bodies down to like, your body doesn't even know what a calorie is, doesn't even know what quality of food is, just eat less than what you burn. Then once again, that's making us feel dumbed down. So back in the 80s and 90s was the low the low-fat movement. It's still around, but good fats have making a comeback. Time magazine said butter is back, and I loved it. We were told to eat fat-free and eat healthy whole grains. So our society has been created to be so fat phobic. We are fearful of good, healthy fats. We're fearful of all fat, and instead has promoted the food pyramid of tons and tons of grains. We have a grain and sugar-filled society. We have an average, each person eats an average of 135 pounds of sugar a year. That is so much sugar. And I don't eat that much sugar. I don't even know, I eat such little amounts of sugar. And if it is, it's all unrefined. That means somebody is eating my sugar. And somebody might be eating your sugar too. And you might be going, well, I'm eating your sugar. Trust me, when you start eating the good healthy fats and you cut out the grains, then you're not going to have those same cravings for sugar. But realize that healthy fats will help you lose weight. And avoiding fats, your food's going to taste like cardboard and you're going to be hungry and unsatisfied. Fat is satiety, and that is amazing. More exercise equals more weight loss. Just work out more, work out more, work out more. We always hear that. And like I said, I love exercise. It's important to our bodies. It's important for healthy cells. And it's important to build muscle. Muscle is a very, very strong biomarker of longevity. The more muscle we have, the healthier our bodies are. But I want to clarify, just exercising, just being on the treadmill and not paying attention to our mindset or our food choices, anything like that, it does not equal more weight loss. So we are told to slave over cardio equipment if we want to drop any weight. And once again, that is totally not true. Can you lose some weight doing that? Absolutely. Can you lose some weight, counting calories? Absolutely. But you get to a point at approximately 10 to 15 pounds of weight loss and you hit a plateau. Because your body's smart. It goes, I cannot starve anymore. I will lose muscle. And your body will protect you from losing muscle. So how to lose weight? Now, this is not giving you every single detail, but I want you to once again understand what we're taught versus what's true reality. We're taught how to lose weight. There's the cabbage soup diet, the grapefruit diet, the HCG diet. I kid you not, there is something called the Twinkies diet where all you eat is Twinkies for a period of time and lose weight. That's called malnourishment, people. You're going to drop some weight. Your body's literally going to starve and eat muscle, thus losing some pounds, but it's not healthy. And so like I said, those crazy things, they can work. They're not building health. You're seeing a number change on the scale, and that's not our goal. And starvation. That's how you lose weight. Oh, I guess I could put over-exercising on there. How we actually lose weight: reducing inflammation, balancing hormones, detoxification, eliminating sugar and reducing or eliminating grains, and eating healthy fats. Eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. Those sound simple. Trust me, they aren't. But that's where I can come in and coach you through it. When your body becomes fat burner and not a sugar burner, you will know when you're hungry, eat when you're hungry, and stop when you're full. Cravings. I asked you guys, what's something that you need help on in terms of weight loss? What's something you want me to go over? And cravings were a big topic. So like I said, I used to be totally enslaved by sugar cravings. I used to go to Starbucks to get the healthiest drink I could create, and it was healthy. And I would literally try not to make eye contact with the blueberry scone. If I made eye contact, it sucked me in and I bought it. And then I would feel guilty about it. Now, I don't even think twice. I make delicious blueberry scones with coconut flour, almond flour, and stevia, and tons of butter, and I love them dearly. So eating healthy is not equal deprivation. It just means that you might have to work a little harder at it, but you will always feel satisfied. So cravings are tricky, and cravings are no fun. And cravings do become a bad word, and they become really bad in your mind. Like, oh, I don't want to crave that thing. But what are cravings? Cravings are your body telling you something. It's either telling you that you're addicted to sugar, Or it's telling you that you're burning sugar and not burning fat and not utilizing it for energy. We need to eat healthy fats for energy. We need to eat healthy fats for our cells. We need to eat healthy fats for being a fat burner. As odd as that sounds, we need to eat healthy fats for weight loss. And what so many of us are, because we have inflamed cells, we become sugar burners. We need sugar. We need that instant energy for energy, because we can use sugar for energy. It's not our primary source, and it's not the source our bodies would love to use, but that's what we do. And so what your body is going to do, and this is key, and I want you to write this down, the difference between a sugar and a fat burner. A sugar burner will be one that has a ton of cravings. Your body will say, I need energy, I need it right now. I am so inefficient in my metabolism that I'm not burning fat, so give me sugar. And you're going to give me sugar in forms of candy and donuts and piece of toast and chocolate, and you name it, your body's going to give you a craving, and it's going to give you one you can't refuse. It does not mean you don't have self-control. It does not mean that you are weak. Remember that verse that I shared with you. We have self-control. That's how God created us. But your body goes, I need to survive. This is called survival. You give me energy or else I eat your muscle. You give me energy or else your organs don't work very well. And so what do? You give in because it's a nasty craving, and you go and eat that sugary thing. And your body goes, oh my goodness, finally I have energy. And you get this blood sugar spike, and then you get this blood sugar lull, and you get super tired, and then you get that craving again, the ups and downs. And that's how so many people live there each and every day. And I can say that because I've been there. When you are a fat burner, and I will say this and I will then explain it, you almost forget to eat. When I heard that a few years ago, I thought, that is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard. Nobody forgets to eat. I would never forget to eat. I don't forget to eat. I remember to eat so much. I have a second breakfast. I'm still hungry. I hold out. Finally, at noon, I eat lunch, and I'm still hungry the rest of the day. And I have those ups and downs. I will never, ever skip a meal. I can tell you right now that I could skip a meal. I could go all day without food. Now, do I know I need to nourish my body and feed it well? But when my body has the ability to burn fat and use fat stores, if I don't have the food available, or if I'm out and about and my errands are taking longer, I don't need that sugary drive-through something. I can wait till I get home. And I will tell you, in and of that, being a fat burner is so much freedom. You are free of cravings. You don't have those. Your body is feeling good, and your mind goes, oh, I don't need that Starbucks, drive-through stuff. I don't need that sugary thing at that store on the end cap. I've got something yummy at home, and I am great with that. That is so powerful. You can get there. You can get there. You can get there. I've seen it so many times. So there is such thing as being free of cravings, and there is such a thing as a healthy dessert. So the reason I put that in there is because I don't want you to be like, all Dr. Meghan eats is vegetables and peanut butter, and she thinks that that's like great. Okay, I do love vegetables and I do love peanut butter, but I do love my healthy chocolate cake. And I do love making my chocolate fudge and my peanut butter cups. Trust me, I still indulge, but it is in a way that is, number one, healthy, and is, number two, something that I make that choice. I choose to have that healthy dessert or that healthy baked good. It doesn't choose me. I don't just have to go finish the entire pan of it. And I will tell you, when you first start this and you first start switching your diet, you might go, whoops, lunch was fudge, or lunch was lemon bars, or lunch was a piece of cake. But I'd rather have you do that than then feel guilty about going out and getting something that has sugar and has grains and has bad fat. It is a process. And it is a process that I've worked specifically hard on and through the healing process in the last 5 years, and really in the last 2 years. The last 2 years, I've experienced so much freedom, which brings us to this next slide: food freedom and weight freedom. If I can do it, my mom has walked this journey with me. She feels the same way. I have walked so many of my clients through it too, that it's fun, and we just celebrate. I did that this week. I celebrated with people because I believe, and I want you to know, that your body was created to heal. Your body was created to be at a healthy weight. I believe our bodies, when we eliminate toxins, whether they're from our foods or whether they're stored in our bodies from past exposures, we will lose weight. Gaining health is the goal. Losing weight is the byproduct. And when we get our bodies healthy, we have freedom from sugar cravings and we have freedom from food ruling us. Just think about that. Think about food not ruling you. Think about not living to eat, but eating to live. It is amazing. You can get there. That can be a goal of yours. I want you to be in charge of what goes into your body, not food controlling you, and then be at peace about it. I want you to imagine. So at the beginning, I told you write down your why. Write down, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to get healthy? Who is it for? Why do you want it? So remember, think about that. This might sound kind of silly, and we're all going to do this in private. It's not in a big group, but imagine food freedom. Imagine weight freedom. I literally want you to close your eyes. And I want you to think through this. And I want you to imagine, number one, if food didn't rule you, how do you feel? How are your relationships? How does your body feel? How does your body move? What different things could you achieve? Not achieving because you just want to, but achieving in terms of these goals that you've had for yourself. I want to join a gym, get to know amazing women, feel like my body doesn't hurt every step I take. Achieving those goals. It feels good, doesn't it? You can really feel that. I want you to think of something else. I want you to think of if you didn't make any of these healthy choices, how would you feel? You'd probably feel worse than you do now. I want you to know that first option, and think of it again, think of food freedom, think of weight loss, really think of getting healthy and then your body losing weight. Think of your body working well. And remember your why. And know that you were created to be a very, very powerful person. And you can make those choices. And I truly want to extend an invitation to help you. If you feel like I want help, you want to work with me, please, please contact me. And I'm sure you've all opened your eyes by now. And if you've not, now you can. I want to thank you so much for attending my weight loss webinar. I have had so much fun teaching it. It is one of my, like I said, passion projects, because I think that we are so misinformed and we are so mistaught. And we are taught that our bodies are not strong, our minds are not strong, and we're just too lazy to lose that weight. And that is so not true. And so this is one of my most favorite pictures. It is me eating my delicious grain-free, refined sugar-free chocolate cake. And it's fun. Choosing to live this way is fun. So thank you so much for attending. If you have any questions, you can contact me on justenjoyfood.com. I am here for you. I'm so glad that I can learn with you, and I want to continue to teach you throughout this process. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and we will talk soon.